Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. It is me, Benji, here with James, and I have been gone for a long time, but we are back. Well, I am back. As you can see, I'm in a new house, new setup. I've been very busy the last sort of like 3-4 weeks. So yeah, thank you for James and Zach for holding the fort for all this time. We are talking today about the IPL final. Kolkata have won the IPL. They've beat the Sunrisers Hyderabad in what can only be described as probably the most boring final in many years.
It was only boring because it was so one-sided. But I would say that the playoffs in general were boring for the same reason. They were all super one-sided. There was not a single like good match in those playoffs. Every team that went out completely folded, like they capitulated.
Yeah.
Sunrisers all out for 113. KKR knock it off in 10.3 overs. I did like the fact that KKR won the overall tournament the way that they won almost all of their games, with just brute force and really aggressive batting. And they were the deserved winners, weren't they?
Yeah. They were like they've been the best team through the majority of this tournament. The way that they've really come together this year has been really impressive. Mitchell Stark has been phenomenal for them. Like he was a bit quiet towards the start of the season, but this second half of the season has been incredible. And
He's a big game player, isn't he? Like he showed up in the final, and
and he
that's
did.
when they needed the most.
He did, and Sunil Narayan as well. Like with a batter like Sunil Narayan, Phil Salt, he left a bit early to go and play for England, but I think with those two opening the innings, it was just a real like a recipe for success through the whole of the IPL. I mean, Narayan really set his stall out all the way back in March when I was playing golf with James, and Narayan was smashing Punjab all over the place. I think it was like he set his stall out early, and he has played the same way the whole way through the IPL, and it's really paid off for them. Like he has been in that position. We haven't liked Narayan opening in the past, but this year, for whatever reason, he's come good. And yeah, they've been the best team, haven't they? Like rightfully, they've been at the top. I think Rajasthan were unfortunate to lose the game against Sunrisers because I would say that Rajasthan have been up there with the better team. But with Rajasthan, they just didn't make the most of it when it counted in the big game situation, whereas Kolkata did, and it was fantastic. And yeah, hats off to them. Mitch Stark's ball to get rid of Abhishek Sharma, was just a thing of absolute beauty.
That was an absolute seed. That it was really good. And just furthering on what you said about Sunil Narayan, because I think he's the reason that they won.
Yeah,
and I feel very comfortable saying that. Sunil Narayan, he had 14 innings. He averaged 34.85 with the bat at a strike rate of 180.74.
wow.
With a high score of 109, which was incredible. 488 runs throughout the series. And then with the ball, again 14 innings, he took 17 wickets at an average of 21.64 and an economy of 6.69. So if he was playing as an out-and-out bowler, which he has done for the past few seasons, they are very good numbers. That is exactly what you want. And if you're playing him as an out-and-out batter, they are very good numbers, and that is exactly what you want. The fact that he has managed to win matches with both bat and ball this season has been the difference for KKR. It's balanced the side completely. It has meant that they are able to play, a more batting-heavy team. They've been able to have more bowlers in as well. And I think it's also freed up a lot of the players. It's meant that people like Venkatesh Iyer can be used as a batter, not as necessarily as an all rounder. Varun Chakravarti seemed to have come back into form a little bit. Andre Russell was good with the ball this tournament. And then they've obviously had other players come in. Vaibhav Arora, he was somebody that played for Punjab and I really rated. He bowled really well at the top. Harshit Rana has been a great find for them as well. So it has been a complete performance from KKR.
Yeah.
And they haven't needed some of their real outstanding performers as well. Like Rinku Singh had a pretty quiet tournament because he wasn't really needed because KKR's top order was so good.
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer, I thought, had quite a quiet tournament. And he probably has had a bit of an understated one as captain. It feels like Sunil Narayan and Phil Salt took a lot of the credit. Gautam Gambhir has also had a lot of the accolades, but Shreyas Iyer, he is the winning captain. And it has to be said that what he's done has really worked. You know, the field settings have been good. He's obviously managed to bowl people at the right times, and the batting order has been incredible. So KKR were absolutely the deserved winners. What did you think on the runners-up, Sunrisers?
I mean, they were a strong team too. I mean, if you look at the IPL most impactful players of the series, which is a great place to be. The Sunrisers chaps are up there. Pat Cummins is number 6. I mean, Narai's taken the top spot from his contribution with bat and ball. But Pat Cummins is there at number 6. Travis Head is there at number 7. If you look at the batters, second and third place are Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma. So they clearly have performed all the way through this tournament. And clearly the Aussies have played very well. But we said from the off that Sunrisers looked like a strong team. Like I think all of us had Sunrisers quite high up, and for a few years, we've thought Sunrisers would do better than they actually did. But this year, with Captain Cummins, a bit of a change of direction. I think they've been really good. I think, I mean, Heinrich Klaassen with the bat is just such a destructive player. They've managed to put Abhishek Sharma in the right place, and he's flourished this season. Travis Head remains one of the most dangerous batters in world cricket. I think Travis Head is just such a destructive player at the top of the innings, and he, for the last few years, has just been phenomenal. Like he's been the anchor of Australia's Test team. He's won games for Australia in the internationals in the white ball series, and in this IPL, he has been phenomenal. And you can again see that from that MVP list. He's number 2 there, only behind Virat Kohli. And I mean, Kohli's there because he scored all of RCB's runs.
Yeah.
No one else scored runs apart from Kohli. So yeah, I mean, just an impressive season from Sunrisers. I mean, they've got the record high IPL score. I think, did they break their own record, or did someone else break their record? They set the record high, and then I think it may have been broken, but I'll have to check my facts on that.
I think Sunrisers got the highest.
And 3 of their top 4 are in the top 10 MVPs. I just want to follow up about what you said, just to tangent slightly back to Narayan about how fantastic he was and how much of a tournament winning performance he put in, because he's number 12 on the batters list for MVP. And he's number 2 on the bowling list, only behind Jasprit Bumrah. So the fact that he did that all the way through the season, and if you also look at the bowling MVP, you've got Varun Chakravarti at number 3 and Harshit Rana at number 6. Andre Russ, as you said, played really well, and he's there at 13. So it's so true what you've said about that old adage that we talk about cricket all the time, that batters win you matches, as we've seen with Sunrisers. You know, when Klaassen, Sharma, Head have teed off, they've scored the record high scores. But bowlers win you tournaments. Narayan, Chakravarti, Harshit Rana. Again, for me, he was one of the MVPs of this tournament. His bowling spells through this tournament have been, I mean, some of the time it's been unplayable. And I mean, even in the final, he had a relatively quiet day today, but he still bowled 4 overs, went for six and over, and took 2 wickets, and bowled a maiden in an IPL final. It was just, yeah, KKR have been the most complete team. Sunrisers for me have been the most exciting team with
Yeah.
these record scores. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a great IPL, and it's a shame that the final was a, just such a one-sided match because
Yeah.
a close final always adds a lot to a tournament. Um, but it's not something that happens every day.
Best match was probably the last qualifier or the last league game between RCB and Chennai Super Kings. That there were high stakes because both teams wanted to get into the playoffs, but RCB win it. You know, in the last over, it came right down to the wire. That was probably like that was kind of what the playoffs were missing. That kind of game.
Yeah.
And it, you know, the RCB story was brilliant. It was just a shame it sort of fizzled out. But let's just, I'm interested to know what you think. Because I've certainly felt like the IPL has been really long, and
Mm,
it feels like it's lasted forever.
yes.
And I do wonder whether, and I'm interested to know like what viewers think as well, especially ones that sort of live in India that maybe have managed to go to some of the games. Do you do you find that you're getting tired of it? Like, you know, towards the end of it, I found that my enthusiasm for the IPL was waning a bit. And I love cricket, you know. I have a
Yeah.
YouTube channel for it, but I just found that it lasted it was difficult to kind of stay as engaged. And maybe that's because my team was losing and, you know, not doing as well, not in contention anymore. But, you know, even just from a standard cricket point of view, and that is also combined with the fact that there's this impact player rule, which means that potentially the scores are slightly overinflated. There's
Mm.
less reliance on team balance and on all rounders. Obviously, all rounders have a big impact, and we saw the impact of Sun on the Rhine. But I don't know. I'm interested to know what you all think, and what you think now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, I struggle to keep focused with the IPL this year. I think 70 group stage matches is about 20 too many.
Mm,
I mean, the IPL's been going on since the third week of March. So, we're talking 8, 12 weeks of the IPL where there's no international cricket because it's the only league that gets a full for the full members anyway, a full international break. Aside from a few T20s that have gone on during the playoff stage with England and Pakistan.
yeah.
So it has been hard to keep keep on it. I think potentially if the IPL could enforce something similar to what we see in maybe the 100. I think it's difficult because it's a 10-team tournament. So there need to be this many matches to get all the games in, to get everyone to play each other twice. But if they can do
Even then,
something
I was going to say
like,
not everybody does play each other
well,
twice.
yeah,
That's the
true, yeah.
thing. I would, I personally would rather see everybody play each other once and then go from there. And I know that might not be a popular opinion.
Mm,
I also think that adding two new teams, while it has been interesting, and you know, good for more people to have like a team closer to them, because
yeah,
obviously India is a massive country. So for Gujarat fans and for Lucknow fans to have, you know, a team to support again, that's really nice. But I do think 10 teams has potentially saturated the market a little bit,
yeah,
where the average quality of a team is probably lower than it was. And I don't know whether increasing the amount of overseas players would help that, but overall, it just felt long.
yeah.
And I
I,
completely echo what you said.
I yeah. I mean, I would say if every team played each other once and then they implemented a local rival system like we have in the 100. So,
They do have a local rival system. Oh no, they don't actually. You're right. Yeah.
but it's not quite the same. So each team will play 10 games. So that, I mean, that instantly reduces us by 20 matches. So that's taking it from 70 to 50. That cuts 2 weeks out of the tournament. And I think it just makes it fans able to stay on it a bit more. Because
Mm.
I'll be honest, for the last sort of 3 weeks, I was more focused on the county championship Red Bull than the IPL. Like I was
Mm.
choosing to watch the county championship over the IPL if they were on
And
at the same time.
that's not a bad thing. Like
No,
we love Red Bull cricket, and I can't wait for Test match to start again. But yeah, no, I think that's a good solution. I'm really interested to know what you guys think, because obviously,
yeah.
we'll kind of cut this part of the conversation off now, just in case you are like, no, I love the IPL. I want it to be 100 matches. Um, but yeah, no, it was interesting. Um, right. So before we end, just a quick word on maybe two or three players that are going to be like, really influential, having seen the IPL, really influential in the T20 World Cup that we've got
Yeah.
in the West Indies and America, because there is a, I'm gonna call it right now. We're not gonna see um, some of the massive scores that we have been seeing. We're not going to see another 287 for three. I think we're going to see some lower scores. They're going to be slower turning pitches. And how are we feeling about some of the players that are going to be there, and some of the players that aren't? So I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to mention three players. They're all going to be batters, two of which aren't going to be at the World Cup, and one of which is.
Can I
So,
just start with one? Because I think you're going to steal my one,
oh,
which
go on
is
then.
Jake Fraser McGurk.
Oh, I haven't. I wasn't going to mention him, so you can
Ah,
have him. Go on.
okay. Well, we'll go with Jake Fraser McGurk because he was my one to watch this tournament, and he is up there on the impactful batters list. He's in the top 10. He was phenomenal for the Delhi Capitals, and he's not going to be there. Australia have gone with a tried and tested, more senior route, not the exciting new talent. And he was my one to watch all tournament. And I don't
Mm.
know if he won the young player of the tournament or not. I'm just trying to find these stats now, but my website won't load properly. But yeah, Jake Fraser McGurk gutted. We're not going to see him in the IPL in the T20 World Cup because I mean, what a talent he is, and what an exciting player he was this tournament.
Yeah, he was really good, and I completely agree that it's a massive shame that he isn't going, because I think Australia could really use somebody like him. He was it was very, very high impact, high strike rate. He obviously had a massive load of intent, but he was playing really good shots.
Mm.
So I think they're really going to miss him. So the three I was going to say, two that aren't there, were going to be Rian Parag, who had a cracking season. He averaged 52 with the batter height, strike rate of just shy of 150, which was incredible. And Abhishek Sharma, who was a bit of a Jake Fraser McGurk of the Sunrisers. He is somebody that I've rated quite a lot because I follow Punjab in all of their formats. Um, and he averaged 32 at a strike rate of 204 while scoring 484 runs. That was absolutely brilliant. And that kind of high intent and high ability, because that's the thing, a lot of these players, Rian Parag, Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Sanju Samson, they've all got really good first class records as well. So they can play the orthodox shots. They just play them really aggressively and well. And then the player that is going, that I think is going to have a huge impact on the World Cup and particularly India's success, is Virat Kohli.
Mm.
He was the top run scorer. He averaged 61 a strike rate, and this is the crucial thing, of 154. And towards the end of the season, we actually saw his strike rate in the middle overs increase a little bit as well.
Yeah.
He was really good at capitalizing on the power play, and that's exactly what RCB needed. Um, but he pushed the tempo outside of the first 6 overs as well, and that's something that he hasn't been doing as well, especially in recent years. And I think that'll have a massive impact on how India do. And the only thing I'd be worried about with Virat Kohli is RCB performed the way that we thought they would in that last game, which was too timidly. You know, when it was a crunch game where it really mattered, it's a playoff spot, they bat first and they kind of just wimp out. Now Virat Kohli, yeah, he slowed down and he went out to Chahal, and it's where he gets tied up with the spin in those middle overs. That's what, that's where I think they lost it. So really interesting to see. Let us know your ones to watch for the T20 World Cup. Let us know your thoughts on the IPL. Just thanks a lot for all the continued support. We will be putting out a lot more cricket content, so give us a shout on what you want to see. Like, subscribe, become a member to support the channel. You get some exclusive content as well, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.